Alright, so today I'm on the way up to Staddard Wells. There's a couple trails that I've heard of, but I've actually never run. From what I understand, they're pretty easy trails, so we're going to go check them out, get fresh, accurate tracks in the GPS. The two trails are called Blue Moon, and the other one's called Devil's Loop. So we'll see how devilly the Devil's Loop is. And Blue Moon seems like an easy cruise that ends over at the... why am I drawing a blank? It's gonna need an edit. I've been going there my whole life. It's the name of the place. And Blue Moon ends over at the /X Cafe. So if you've never been to /X, it's a great place to ride out to just grab a burger and some refreshments, kind of hang out for a little bit. Staddard Wells OHV area itself is actually an open riding area, so you can take any trail, kind of pick your way through the desert, or however you'd like. Typically, there's just a lot of trails that are already pre-existing, so you typically don't need to, cut your own trail or do any bushwhacking or anything like that. Typically, I encourage people to use existing roads, but as the rules are out here, you don't necessarily have to use existing roads. Staddard Wells is a pretty fun place, though, very popular because it's relatively close to LA and San Bernardino. So just about an hour and a half away from most people that need a close getaway. So it works out. It does get pretty busy during the holidays, any holiday weekend really. Today is just a regular old Saturday, so we'll cruise up there, take a few pictures, mark a couple points of interest, verify some roads. It's just us today, so hopefully everything works out. I do need to call for help for some reason. Town isn't that far away. There's cell phone reception, and got friends and family that I can call on if I have to. In the meantime, we've got Morse in the back. Morse is an 8-month-old silver lab, and I've been introducing him to wheeling in the outdoors and camping for the last few months, and he's acclimating well. So it'll be good. Just get out, get this done. So we just got off on Dale Evans Parkway, and this is actually just south of the OHV area. If I zoom out here, you'll be able to see the actual boundary, which doesn't start till you're up this way. So because Willow Springs Road intersects and is a pretty major road through the OHV area, I'm going to go ahead and include that from the 15 freeway off-ramp and make sure we get an accurate track getting all the way through there. So this is just easy dirt road. Apparently I have color trails turned on. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. And so anyways, I'm just going to drive this up towards and through the OHV area until we intersect the trails that we're actually going to check out. But this will give us additional data that I'll roll in. So not too exciting. It's basically just a flat road, but that's okay. It's part of the plan. So we've come to this intersection. That sign right there says Willow Springs Road. That's the one we're on now. There's this other road. Does not have a name. Don't have anything on it in the GPS, but I am going to mark this and come investigate this road another day, because I think it is a named road. I don't think it's just a wash. I think it's bigger than that. So I have to go back and see if I have data on that road, and if it doesn't make sense, we'll come back and run that one, bomb through it. Maybe today if we have time. We'll see how things pan out. Oh, Morse woke up from his nap. There we go. I don't know if someone hit that or if the wind did it. May have been the wind. Wind gets gnarly out here. Morse, come on. Let's load up. Let's go. Come on, up. Morse, let's go. Come on, up. Wait, confused, there's two doors? Come on, up. Let's go. Up. Yes. Here we go. So this is a perfect example of why I come back out and run these roads. Some of these are pretty well established roads that I could correct in the computer, but nothing's better than putting boots on the ground, or I should say tires on the ground, to come in and correct this. This brown line is the road data that I had coming out here, and as you can see, the road that we're on is clearly not lining up with it very well at all. So this is an example that, again, that I probably could have fixed in the computer, but as this same kind of thing happens on smaller, less defined roads, it's difficult to do in the computer. I know other companies try to make all sorts of corrections using artificial intelligence, but I like to come out here, make sure it's accurate. There we are. So it's stuff like that. Okay. I used to come out here fairly often growing up, learning how to ride dirt bikes and such, and this road, from what I remember, used to just go straight through, and /X is right there. So you go grab a burger, some refreshments, and everything was good. But what I've noticed the last time we were out here about a month ago is that there's this fence here. It says no trespassing. Somebody's clearly cut the fence. I think this was supposed to be a public road. So I need to get clarification on what exactly is going on over here and figure out the legal way to get through here. If maybe somebody illegally closed this off, or maybe somebody illegally opened it. I'm not really sure. So I'll mark it in the GPS and we'll drive around here for a minute, try to figure out the proper way to get through here, and keep on going. Morse, come on. Okay, so I just hooked a right at that cut open fence. We'll see what this says up here. I can also pull up property lines, like for private property, from public data. Let's see what. Department of Water and Power, huh? Violators will be prosecuted. Well, in my opinion, they shouldn't have cut off the road that goes straight to /X. Really screws people up. But if it's their property, it's their property. And we're going to want to correct that, because you can see in the GPS, based on public record of what the road is supposed to be, it's supposed to go straight through there. And then /X is right up here. That's the cafe. So it's very interesting that you can't go through there anymore. So we'll see if there's an opening over here. Otherwise, we'll probably have to go up and around. I think that's the proper entrance these days. So check it out. Here's another gate. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, so this probably just goes to the highway, just like the GPS is saying, right? Pretty logical. But I don't think that's the best way to get back to /X. However, I'm curious if there's a street sign at the intersection. So we'll still go this way and check it out. So really a lot of how these types of projects start out is kind of like a coloring book, right? If you have a picture you're gonna color in a coloring book, you typically start out by tracing it. And then once everything's traced, then you go back and you color it in. So it's kind of the same approach I take to building these maps, is figuring out all the boring roads first, all the legal stuff, where are the boundaries, where you're allowed to be, where you're not allowed to be, main roads, correcting public records of where the roads are, just because from old bad public government data, that sort of thing. And then once that's done, then you get to color everything else in, and that's all the fun stuff. So unfortunately with this map, I didn't do it quite so organized, so I kind of did some of the fun stuff, and now we're going back and doing a little of the boring stuff, and then we'll go back and we'll finish the fun stuff. So a couple more days out here, probably have this wrapped up. Let's see what we got here. Actually, no signs. So the thing is if you were to come around this way, you're right next to the highway getting into /X, which isn't terrible, but I feel like this is definitely the long way around. And right here is the corner of the OHV area. As you can see, there's the orange outline here that we're basically right on top of. So in here is OHV area, out here is not, basically. So I'll backtrack a bit, we'll go back up and around and see if there's signs on the other side. It's getting pretty dark out here, so I probably will be back out here tomorrow. Did intend on checking out Devil's Loop and Blue Moon, but doesn't look like we're going to get into it as far as I hoped. I should have given myself some more time today, but it is a Saturday and I left in the afternoon, figured I'd come up here for a few hours, so maybe I overestimated what I was going to be able to get done. I have a little bit better idea of how we're going to kind of attack the rest of this project and color the rest of this end. So in situations like this, it's starting to get dark, as you can see, but the GPS is super, super bright. One thing I don't think I've talked about in any of my videos thus far is brightness control on these things. So I'm actually going to stop here real quick. A couple different ways to handle brightness. If you're on the move and you need to cycle through brightness settings quickly, you can just hit the power button numerous times and it'll cycle through different brightness presets. So during the day, mine's typically on the brightest, and then as it gets darker, I'll turn it down. Also, once you hit the power button once, you have a brightness option that is available in the system control screen, and you can just scale that up and down. So that's how I do it. I honestly never even use that scale. I just do the shortcut here. Okay, click it back a few times, close the box, and we're good. Just trying to see if there's a different name for this road, because I don't know what road we're technically on anymore. It must have changed names though, because the one we were on went through private property. Again, it's stuff like that that needs to be corrected by being on the ground. All right, so we made it to /X. Looks like they're closed, but the sign says they're open. I'm not stopping here today. What I'm just going to do is show you guys the kinds of things that I need to correct. So based on public data, government data, this road, like we were talking about earlier, goes straight through this private property. This is where that fence is. So that's the kind of thing that I'll need to take out, and on my map I'll reroute everybody around on these other two roads. So I'm curious what other off-road mapping solutions are doing here, especially those that are using AI to make corrections. I'd be willing to bet that that road tells people to just trample straight through that fence. So apparently we're not supposed to do that anymore. So there we have it. Made it to /X. I'll be back out here tomorrow earlier, so I'll have a lot more time. You know, sunset's pretty early at this part of the year. It's only 5 o'clock, 5:15. So tomorrow I'll get up and get back out here, so we have a lot more time in the dirt before the sun sets. And we'll start backtracking on this trail here, which I believe this one was Blue Moon. Let's see, what do we got? Yep, Blue Moon. So we'll see what that looks like. I believe it's a pretty easy trail, but I am happy with just getting this one route. It didn't really take too long. I was only out here about an hour and a half. So, and it got Morse out of the house, so that's good. Anyways, I'll be wrapping this up. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe.